Welcome to Sportsnet's digital studios. My name is Amit, Mann, here to catch you up on all the latest from Canada basketball at the Paris 2024 Olympics with the men's and women's team. Again, just like a huge performance. I'm sure you watched that game. Canada defeats Greece. What a game. Heart-stomping, heart-throbbing. Holy smokes, they got really close down the stretch. But fortunately for Canada, they did pull it out, 86-79 in this one. Looking at some of the numbers here from Canada and Greece, obviously, Shea has 21 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. He was that dude. Foul trouble made this game a lot closer than it had to be. That is for damn sure. And RJ Barrett delivered. He was my X factor in my preview, and he did what he had to do. No question about it. He was very good today on the offensive side, just being very efficient with his buckets. But if you want to stop Greece, we know how this is, right? Just like in the NBA, you want to stop Greece, you got to stop Giannis. And in this game, he did have a great game, 34 points, 11 of 17 shooting, 12 of 15 from the free throw line. Very, very good. He was a big factor in why Canada got into foul trouble. But essentially, how they wanted to guard him, especially on those wings, is that once a post-up happened, and he liked doing that post-up, especially in the first half, they were bringing strong side corner help, and then the opposite corner, that defender would sink down to the paint, and if a pass did happen from a skip pass did happen to the corner, then you're looking at the opposite wing defender sinking down, getting to that spot, and then from there you are just like in a lot of rotation. But Canada is comfortable doing that. That's part of their defense. They rely on scrambling, and they just wanted to make sure that if someone's going to beat us, it's not going to be Giannis, right? And for the most part, Greece did struggle from the three-point line. They weren't all that good outside of Papanikolaou. He was 3 of 6 from 3. He had some nice drives off those closeouts, but aside from him, no one really did all that well. No one had more than 9 points, and I'm looking at Nick Kalathis. Okay, so Lou Dort was on Nick, and then you had Brooks on Giannis, and they did that so that way they could switch those pick and rolls, and Nick was in the torture chamber. He did not have fun today. 3 points, 1 of 4 from the field, 0 of 4 from the line in a game that was very close down the stretch and 4 turnovers. Did not have fun today. Not at all. So essentially the game plan worked. Canada wanted to force other players to beat them outside of Giannis, and that did work out. But the foul trouble was a problem for this team. You look at the 3 players that did have issues. Okay, so Dwight Powell was a plus 19. He fouls out with 3:45 remaining. Then Dylan Brooks, he was a plus 24. He fouls out with 3:06 remaining. And then Lou Dort, plus 26, minute 42 remaining. He fouls out. So you're closing your game with Shea, RJ, Trey Lyles, Andrew Nembhard, and Jamal Murray. Don't like that. Not at all against Giannis. And it's a Murray turnover. He's driving towards the basket, and he tries to find RJ under the basket. Doesn't work out. Leads to a layup. And then Trey Lyles tries to get the ball to Shea crossing half court. Does not work again. It leads to another bucket. And now this game got very, very close. But fortunately, you get some Jamal Murray free throws. You get Shea, who we'll get to in a moment, making a huge basket. And Canada pulls it out. They are now 1-0 to start this tournament. Just get to the quarters, right? That's the important part. And winning this game is obviously it's just a huge confidence boost for everyone. But we got to talk about Shea. Okay? My goodness. Such a good player. Can't believe he's Canadian. Love it. 21 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and 30 minutes. And a couple of baskets I want to highlight. Like, he did a lot of good things, but there's a few baskets that I want to discuss, and 2 of them are pull-up threes. And first one started in the first quarter where he gets a switch, and it's he gets a big on him. It's crossover, has his step back, and he hit that shot. And after that, he's already feeling himself, right? He's talking that talk, and I love that kind of stuff. And then later on, again, he gets a switch on to a big man, and it's hesitation, crossover, sidestep, and he just gets another 3. And like these kinds of shots, it changes how teams have to guard him one-on-one as a team. If he's doing that, and that was a bit of a weak point in last year's qualifiers, right? Like he didn't shoot that well from 3, but if he's hitting these kinds of shots, and obviously he's a workhorse, he's very, very good. He wants to continue to get better. If he's hitting these shots, it's going to change how teams have to guard him in the NBA as well. The final basket where, again, Shea, he's your guy, as I mentioned, and you want to get the ball in his hands, and they do that. He's against Papanikolaou, and it's a switch. It's a snatch back push crossover off the glass. Giannis trying like hell to get his hand on it under the basket, but to no avail. He hits that shot, it extends the lead, and obviously, as I mentioned, Jamal Murray hits a few free throws. But he was so good today, and as I mentioned with the passing earlier, it was excellent. He was getting off the ball very fast, seeing the defense, that second line. He knew exactly what was coming at him. Granted, Greece, not very good at defense. I don't think they're all that great personally. A lot of slow-footed dudes out there, hence why RJ Barrett, who we'll get to in a second, was able to drive the basket so much, and also other players were able to get in the paint. But Shea, he made the right play, right? It's swing pass. He's a double coming. It's swing. RJ Barrett, maybe for 3 or for a pull-up 2 or something like that. There was one possession where Dwight Powell set a pin-in screen for him. RJ hit a shot, and then later on in the game, Lou Dort lifted from the corner. Shea's being triple teamed, and Lou hit that shot. Everything you want from Shea, he did it in this one. Only played 30 minutes too. That's very good, and hopefully we can keep it around there throughout this tournament. But RJ Barrett, I mentioned him just a moment ago. He was my X factor in my preview, and today he showed why. Because when he's scoring 23 points on 8 of 13 shooting, 6 of 6 from the free throw line, and going 1 of 4 from 3, maybe you hope he makes a few more, but that's a pretty good game from RJ. And when he's pushing in transition, he's coming off those DHOs, one where he came off of a DHO with Jamal Murray, or handoff rather, and he dribbled, he drove the paint, and he threw down a thunderous dunk. He had a few thunderous dunks. He was really good, man. This is what you want. And these are all things that he can do game in, game out. He's just taking what the defense gives him, right? And he's such a good driver off those pin downs. He's like a running back when he does that. If he's finishing in the paint, and also he's finishing his free throws, then look, he can be 15, 17, 18, whatever they need from him. He can do that. And he has to continue to push in transition. Canada overall has to continue to push in transition. That's going to be a way that they can get a lot of easy baskets. And they did that in this one. They caught Greece sleeping various times, and they got to keep on doing it. No question about it. That's going to be a huge part of how they're able to maintain their offensive flow and also just their offensive production. They want to score the ball. They need to score the ball outside of Shea. They're going to do it through this, right? So that was a great game from RJ. Thank you, sir. Let's see you do it again and again and again and again. Jamal Murray. All right, final point. So it seems like he is on a minutes restriction, and in this one, not the best game. He had 8 points, 3 assists, 3 turnovers. He was a minus 21. There was one sequence where he got switched onto a big, and or he was on offense, and a big got switched onto him. He had a nice crossover, led to a floater, and then moments later, he's being posted up by a very, very, very big man, Dino Mitoglu. He's like 6'11", but Jamal, he stayed composed. He forced him into help, which was Kelly Olynyk. Did a good job there. That was a nice sequence. But aside from that, yeah, Jamal, explosion's not really there, right? He's a bit struggling a little bit with that. He looked kind of rusty. I'll put it that way. He looked rusty, especially for FIBA, the competition. He didn't obviously play in the qualifiers last year. So bank on him being better. That's all we can do. But the moral of all this is that, look, Canada's 1-0. They are 1-0. That's the important part. Get to the quarters, and from there you find your way. But they won this game, and let's just keep it on here. Great performance overall. If they stay out of foul trouble, they are much better. And I think if had they done that, then this game wouldn't have been as close as it was. But also for those guys, Lou and Dylan, and also Dwight Powell. You can't get in foul trouble. You got to be more composed. They did a good job once they were in the game with their 4th foul, just kind of alleviating, keeping their hands back and all that stuff. But obviously they did end up getting their 5th fouls all around. So yeah, Canada wins. Let's move on to the women's national team. They take on home nation France on Monday. And if you want to know more about the team, I did a preview for the men's team, the women's team, and also the 3-on-3 team. You can find that on Sportsnet's YouTube channel. But aside from, some of the overarching things in this matchup against France, you have size advantages everywhere. Your bigs on the bench, your starters overall, they got to be aggressive. They got to be attacking the offensive glass. They got to be attacking in transition. They got to be looking to, on those DHOs, the keeper plays, they got to be looking to get in the paint, and they got to be looking to get to the free throw line, right? Or at least not, don't be foul baiting, but just get to the heart of the paint and try and finish there, because that's going to be where Canada is most effective offensively. Defensively, I think they're going to be, there's some challenges on France, which I'll get to in a second, but there's challenges there, but offensively. If they need to score enough, and that goes through like a Bridget, that goes to Kia Nurse, but their bigs are going to be kind of like their anchor offensively, and if those people are scoring, Kayla, Natalie, and so forth, they're going to be in good shape. But on the other side, France, like, they're good. All right, they're very good. Marine Johannes, Gabby Williams, those two that kind of stir the drink offensively, two very talented players. Marine, she's kind of like a little bit of a Manu Ginobili in how she plays. She has a one-leg not step back, a one-leg three that she shoots. I'm not kidding. She'll come off a screen, one leg, she'll vault up and shoot. And she hits them. It's wild, wild stuff. She is so talented. She's a movement shooter. So we're looking at Silas Swartz. We're looking at Kia Nurse, Bridget Carlton, and so forth. Heads on a swivel because they love running that play where she's coming off two flare screens from one corner to one wing to the other. Once she does that, she's able to just get her shot off so fast. Steph Curry-like. I'm not even kidding. It's incredible stuff. She did play in the WNBA for a few seasons. Not so much this year, but she's very good. And Gabby Williams just does a lot of great things on the court. She's a great driver. She finishes really well in the paint. Canada has to win this game, right? Because Australia is going to be a really tough matchup for them. And this is a game that they should get. Again, they are ranked higher than this team, but hopefully the threes drop. Hopefully they stay aggressive throughout. Hopefully they're able to generate good offensive flow in the half court. We'll see what happens. All right, there you go. You're all caught up. Let's take a look at what's next for all these teams. Canada basketball, looking at the Olympics here. So Canada, France, as I mentioned, they are on July 29th, 11:15. You'll find them there. And then July 30th, Canada versus Australia, 7:30 in the morning. That's the men's team. And then the women's 3x3 team, July 30th, 12 o'clock. They get going. They got a whole bunch of games. Usually sometimes they're going to be playing 2 times a day. But all the games coming up right there. The Olympics are here. Hot and heavy. Good start for Canada. We got the win. Let's keep on keeping on and enjoy yourselves. Have some fun. Hope you enjoyed this. My name is Amit. We'll talk to you very soon.